Welcome to the Holistic High Achiever podcast. I'm your host, Kaitlin Rohowetz. This podcast is all about thriving in the modern world without sacrificing your health. It's for all of my fellow high achievers, business owners, mompreneurs, single parents, and hustlers. The people who do so much for everyone else and sometimes at a detriment to their own health. The people who want to do it all but really need to find a better way without burning themselves out or continuing to put their own health on the back burner. Yes, we'll talk about health, nutrition, and movement and easy solutions to living healthier, but we'll also cover topics like goal setting, building habits, and overcoming challenges and limiting beliefs, which can be applied to any area, including health, so that you can thrive holistically. Hey, high achievers. So this is going to be a life and business hack episode. It's intended to help avoid overwhelm, overcommitting, and really help you set realistic timelines for yourself. Because I know personally when I overcommit, I feel overwhelmed. Anybody else? So, and the other thing is just remembering to do things. We all have a million and one things on our to-do list. And when you're trying to add to it, it's like, how do we make it all happen? Well, this is how. So, a little bit of backstory. When I first started working with my business advisor, I attended this conference and one of the keynote speakers was talking about how, especially as business owners, we want to do a million things and we easily get overwhelmed. And I'm just listening to this and I'm like nodding my head like, yes, that's me. I think they're talking to me the entire time. So here's the hack. It's understanding the due date versus the due date. So the DO date versus the DUE date. And actually scheduling the time to do, DO, the things in chunks, all the little tasks that have to happen in the free time so that you make sure you actually have the time to realistically do all those smaller tasks that are required to reach this goal in the amount of time or the quickest amount of time possible. Because, I used to say things like, oh, okay, I have this idea. I think I should be able to get that done by next week. But I didn't actually even check my calendar. I just assumed that sounded like a reasonable deadline. I just kind of pulled it out of thin air. And then next week would come and go and I hadn't done it yet. And the problem was I didn't schedule the time to do the tasks. So either I didn't have the time because I was already overcommitted with doing other things, or if I had the time, that those pockets of time just things naturally crept in that needed my attention, something my staff needed or my husband needed or whatever. And I unintentionally prioritized those because they filled the pockets of time. So when I started applying this idea of the due date versus the due date, it literally helped me accomplish so much more without feeling overwhelmed. I'll give you some examples. So for 2025, one of my big goals is increasing our chair massage. So we do a lot of corporate chair massages where we go on site and give massages to the employees. And one of the big things, we go a lot of places, right? We currently go to Pro Mega and Lake Ridge Bank and Exact Sciences, and we go to some incredible places. And to be honest, we've done some marketing in the past, but a lot of it has come to us with very minimal efforts, in my opinion, which is great. However, it also lets me know that that's the next thing that I want to focus on and expand. So basically, I'm putting a little bit more strategy than what we currently have to our sales process. That's a big goal, right? I basically want to double or triple what we're currently doing. That's not something that I can say okay, I'll do that next week. So I break it down into the small tasks of first I have to write a new lead generation plan. Then I have to write, plug everything into a customer management system or project management. Then I have to create all the automated emails. And then I have to develop some sort of follow-up nurture sequence or drip campaign, right? All of these different steps. So I literally take all of those and I start plugging them into my calendar and the times I'm going to work on them. I do that for this podcast, right? There's times where I say, I'm going to sit down and think of ideas and outlines, and plug in like an hour to 2 hours of chunks of time to sit down and work on that. What's another goal? So I read Brittany Hodak's book, Creating Superfans. If you haven't read it, go get it. I get nothing for saying that. But her book is fantastic. And it's one of the things that I thought of, especially managing a team of people, that, I would love to create this like up-leveled customer service experience, because I already think we do phenomenal, but just like putting that as part of our handbook, that this is just expected. We're already great, but how can we make it even better, kind of thing. So I'm creating this training manual, if you will, for a better body, and then have to create videos and kind of make it into this training program so that when we start to hire new people, they can watch those videos and I don't have to like personally walk through it with them every time, because that would be a lot. So again, I have to sit down, write the content, organize it, make sure I'm not missing anything. I try and find 1 to 2 hour pockets of time where I can sit down and work on that. Then an hour and a half pocket of time to train the current staff, right? There's all these little steps that go into the big step to hit it before I want. Like, perfect example was I wanted to create an outline to train all the current staff on it and get their feedback. Like, is it missing anything? What do we already do great at? What are our areas of improvement? And I wanted to get that done before our next staff meeting. And I did, so I prioritized it over other things. And I didn't allow things to creep in, because I was like, this is the priority right now. So instead of working on the chair massage stuff or the podcast stuff, I prioritized that. So that's the other beautiful thing, is it kind of lets you move things around. Also, I will say my calendar, if you're not a calendar person, I could do a whole episode on like calendar scheduling, because I totally nerd out on this, but it's color coordinated. So when I have actual events or appointments, they're one color. And then when I have this DO time to like work on stuff, it's a different color, so that I know, like, still don't schedule anything there, but like if it had to get moved, I could, like, as long as I know then to move it instead of just not do it. And then I have a family calendar that's a different color and all these. And then I have a personal calendar where I literally schedule in things. So I'm going to bring this full circle on why this also relates to health, because I schedule in the times to eat. I never thought I would be one of those people that forgets to eat. I was like, how do people do that? I love food. And now that I'm a mom and I'm doing 1,000,001 things, I'm like, wait, I haven't eaten. And then it's the worst thing, like going into a meeting or doing something important when you're like, I'm so hungry. So I schedule in the times. Well, first of all, I paid attention to when I normally get hungry, so I kind of know when roughly I'm going to eat anyways. Like, I know on the days that I do really intense workouts, I'm going to be hungry like by 10 a.m. anyways. So just schedule in that time so I have enough time to eat. Schedule in a snack. Schedule in dinner. I have a 35-minute commute to my office, so schedule in the drive time. One of the things I have also started scheduling is, I call it fun mom time, because as a business owner, it's really, really easy to take work home with you. Someone sends you a text or you see an email coming through that's like kind of important, or you've been looking forward to or dreading. I don't know, either one. Either way, it's like we live in this world where it's all available to us at any second. And so it's really easy to like see an email come through on your watch or your phone or something. And then all of a sudden you're not paying attention to your kid, or your kids, which are like really the most important thing. And so I literally schedule in a block of my time after dinner, before bedtime routine, to just be present and play with him. And it's kind of my favorite time of the day, because we do whatever he feels like doing during that time to really be with him and like absorb his personality. And it's just my favorite. Then we, always be realistic of like scheduling in bedtime stuff. After bedtime, I have like this 15 to 30 minute chunk of time to review my calendar and get prepared for the next day. And then I used to be so hard on myself to like get all these things done that I didn't have time for during the day. Like, oh, I didn't finish this at work. I didn't finish this. I'm going to try and get it done after my kiddo goes to bed. What I discovered is that there are always going to be days that you don't get something done. So as long as you're scheduling time for the most important things, there's just still going to be stuff that doesn't get done. You have to prioritize what's most important. And this is what the do time has really helped me with, for the things that are genuinely most important in your life, with business, but also with personal. Like, I think we all have this expectation to like do more and accomplish more. And that's why I'm giving you so many examples, because it's not necessarily what it's about. And what I'm getting at is this last piece is I have recently added in relax to like the last 45 minutes of my night, because most of us who are high achievers, who are like, I got to get this done, I got to get this done. Yes, I want to get prepared for the next day. I want to make sure like if there's stuff I got to bring with me. Today I forgot my microphone, so we're hoping the audio on this is really good. But I try and like look at what I'm doing for the next day so that I don't forget things, pack my lunch, or at least get an idea of what I'm going to pack in the morning, and then just relax. Like it's gives me permission to relax. You don't always have to be doing something. Sometimes the most important thing to be doing is actually nothing. We need that too. So scheduling in the most important things so that you have some sort of balance in your life is essentially what I'm getting at. So the DO is important for big projects and for work and even health goals, right? Like if you have a big health goal of wanting to lose weight, you don't just go like, okay, in 90 days, I'm going to lose 15 pounds and then hope it happens. You got to have a plan. Schedule the do's, schedule the times you're going to meal prep, schedule the times you're going to work out, schedule the times that you're going to do some body measurements or weigh yourself to like check in on how your progress is going along the way. And then it also applies to, health and relaxation and self-care. So the moral of all of this is like, figure out what's most important and what you want to schedule in for yourself. You don't have to schedule in every single tiny task. Keeping to-do lists, running to-do lists can be helpful. That's almost a separate episode. But scheduling in chunks of time in your day for the most important things first is my biggest recommendation I can give to people. So this episode was a little bit more unscripted, but I hope you guys found it helpful. And thank you so much for being here with me on the Holistic High Achiever. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world one healthy step at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, like, and subscribe, or leave a review. It helps so much. And if you're anything like me, you probably thought of someone else who would likely resonate with this. So don't forget to share it with them, because who can't use a little extra motivation? Until next time, keep embracing your journey and kicking ass. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and ready to take on the world one healthy step at a time. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow, like, and subscribe, or leave a review. It helps so much. And if you're anything like me, you probably thought of someone else who would likely resonate with this. So don't forget to share it with them, because who can't use a little extra motivation? Until next time, keep embracing your journey and kicking ass.